Hey, welcome. I want to talk about career transition. Are you in a situation where you are somewhere in the corporate world and in a job which you might like and love a lot? You might work a lot, but you're also considering a career transition. Why? Maybe because you want to do something else, or you know that things are going to change and you need to prepare. Would you agree that today's world is so much more fluid? There's so many more models out there in terms of career. Yeah, there's the forecast that about 50% of all roles will disappear. So this is a huge challenge for everybody, not only for kind of those, be it blue collar workers, white collar workers, but also for the management level. Because when you have less people, then obviously you need less managers as well and leaders in organizations. So that's a massive challenge upcoming. And the other huge prediction regarding careers is that the model out there is going to change dramatically. So there will be a much larger portion of contracting work out there. So not steady jobs where you get a paycheck every month, but you need to find your work every month or maybe every 3 months, depending on the model you are going for. So there's a lot about career transition. And so my name is Michael Alf. I'm a multiple best-selling author, and I'm also the host of the Discipline Disruption podcast. And in the podcast, I'm actually inviting guests from all over the world, like the authors of Disrupt You, Disrupt Yourself, Disrupted, and others, to share their views, how you transition, how you prepare in today's fast-changing world to thrive both in work and life. So really encourage and invite you to join the podcast and figure out and find out more about it. And there's a lot of models in terms of career transitioning, and I want to share my model, which is a 5-step model, which hopefully gives you some ideas and some food for thought, so which you can actually start implementing. Because I suggest that you start that earlier than later, because one of the learnings is it takes longer than you think it does. Let's go into it. The first step, and it's a very simple A, B, C, D, and E model. So it's pretty straightforward. You start from the beginning, the A, and you move forward to the E, and then you are up and running in terms of the launch. You might not be where you need to be, so that might be a little bit more work, but at least it's a good start. So the A stands for awareness. What do I mean by awareness? Well, when you think about today's world, as said, it's changing faster than ever before. It's not only social media and mobile and robotics and artificial intelligence and on and so on and so on. All of that has impact on how you kind of behave and how you develop your career going forward. So the question is, how do you kind of stay up to date? How are you aware of what's going on? One of the things I recommend is really reaching out and checking out the podcast Discipline Disruption. So that's michaelalf.com/podcast. Very simple, michaelalf.com/podcast, where you find out more. Because I have some amazing guests, I'll talk about that topic, and they share led on to those questions from two perspectives, one around disruption, digital disruption, technology disruption, and the other one is personal transformation, that intersection, which I think is really, really critical, and this is where I want to share as much as possible. So this is around awareness. The next one is the B, and the B stands for business case and business models. So it's really understanding how business models in today's world can work. So you move away from the paycheck and the variable compensation. So let's say you are in a sales model, which might mean that you have 50 to 60% fixed and then you have the rest variable. Or you are in a management role where you have maybe 30% variable compensation. So this is one business model. Then you're going into a contracting model, which is actually a different one. It sounds like amazing, a lot of money, but only when you have the right level of utilization. But today's models are quite different, and they're all about one word which I really want to stress, to think about, and that is leverage. So it's really, really about leverage, because today you as an individual can generate leverage, which in the past only large organizations could do. To give you an example, we're running large virtual events, so-called virtual summits, and we have thousands of people, and we do that largely here out of that office where I'm sitting right now. So we're impacting thousands of people online, to partially life-changing impact and events, and we do that leverage here from this office. So this is just one idea around business, business models. Next one, now you have the business models and you have the awareness. The next one is the question, what do you stand for? What is your character? So C is character. So you really need to work out what your character is. You might have done some of these tests like Kolbe, Strength Finders, and others, which will help you actually to get an idea and a foundation. But it's also what you've done, your achievements, what you like, and things like that, which work out actually what your foundation is and where you can go from there. This is around the character. Because one of the things I see at the moment is the move from a generalist, general manager, to specialists and experts largely. And why is that? Because the complexity is partially decreasing, partially increasing. That's a longer term, that's a complete different conversation for another session. But when you don't have the complexity, especially when you transition somewhere else, then you don't need the general management skills. So it's a very different world out there. How do I know? Well, it's everything from own experience and obviously talking to a lot of people and other experts and people who've been through similar things. So this is the C. The next one is the D. That's all good and fine. Now you have kind of the awareness, you have the business models, you know what your character is standing for. Now the next step on the path is a decision. What do I mean by decision? Very simple, taking action. Because just making the decision is not enough, is acting upon the decision is actually what the decision is. Otherwise it's like a intent, if you like. So it's really making that decision and moving in a direction. Even if you don't know if it's the right direction, you'll find out. And the only way to find it out is actually taking action. And the last step, the E, is now you took action, you got some results, now you need to evaluate the results. Probably one of the biggest things I've not done enough in my own career is deliberate practice and deliberate learning, which is really looking back, what worked, what didn't work, what specifically did I do, and how do I change that next time. Most time it's more like, well, you learn on the go and you see how it works out. And you become better over time. I mean, after 10, 15 years, you do get good in certain areas. But what about you could accelerate the thing? So that's the E. And the other way to accelerate is obviously working with somebody like a sparring partner or a mentor who's helping you along the way. And if you want to work with me, just check out michaelalf.com and set up a short call with me. All the details are there. We'll have a chat. We'll see where you are and how I can help you, and then we decide if we want to work together for a while or not. So really look forward to talking to you. Again, to summarize the 5-step model, A is about awareness, B is the business models, C is the character, D is decision, and E is evaluate, and then you circulate that and do that again and again. So this is the model. I hope it's helpful and I hope you get started. And if you want to work with me, again, michaelalf.com, check that out and set up a call, and we'll see how we can work together. I look forward to you. And as always, own your life, be kind, and be present. Bye.